All right, so finally we're done with the AFC teams. We can just uh, go ahead and talk about the NFC South now. So, starting off with the Bucks. So obviously, big Tom Brady retirement news, and then unretirement news. So he's back with the Bucks. Um, they did lose Bruce Arians. So what do you kind of think about that? Do you think that's a big loss in terms of the offensive mind that he kind of was?
I mean, there was speculation that was just because Brady and him were butting heads.
Yeah,
And I don't find that hard to believe with, when he first came to Tampa last year, um, Arians kind of hung him out to dry the first couple weeks.
yeah,
When he played whenever he played poorly.
yep,
But I think, yeah, I mean, I think they'll be okay. But obviously, Tom Brady has a lot of input in and how they run their offense. You saw them pretty much go from the Arians, no risk it, no biscuit,
yeah,
like emphasis on the deep ball style to more of what Brady's comfortable with
yeah,
over the 2 years he's been in Tampa. Um, this might be the most challenging year for them in the Brady Bucks era. Lucky for them, this division has weakened significantly, so they're
yeah.
kind of a no-brainer to still win it.
Yeah, definitely still have a hold of it.
But last year they made an emphasis on bringing back everyone from their Super Bowl team, and this year they've actually ended up losing a couple of
Yeah,
pieces, particularly off their offensive line with.
yeah. I think they lost Alex Kappa. Cincinnati. He went to Cincinnati, and then Dominican Sue, and then Gronk also are just they're not sure if they're going to
Up in the
return. So
area.
a couple of big losses there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they'll be okay because their division is soft, and you can't really, Tom Brady is 40 going on 45 this season. So as great as he's played, you never know, because in sports, when there's a drop off, it's usually precipitous and out of nowhere.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, at the level Brady's been operating, and still having very good weapons on offense, you'd still expect them to finish with upwards of like 11-ish wins.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. 6 wins they're gonna get in this division.
Yeah.
Those aren't super hard wins to get. So
Yeah, I mean, Brady still hasn't beaten the Saints in his
well,
whole Tampa tenure. They've had his number, but yeah, nonetheless,
yeah,
they'll be okay.
yep. All right. So Panthers, obviously, last season, um, they got Sam Darnold, and then he was looking pretty good for the first game or two, and then just fell off a cliff. So they don't really have an answer. There have been some rumors about him, or about them looking at Baker Mayfield, but I don't think that that's actually gonna, formalize or anything. So,
Mhm.
answer question still at quarterback. Receiving corps, Terrace Marshall has not been great. DJ Moore, obviously, very good route runner, very good receiver. So, he's a solid piece in that offense. Christian McCaffrey as well. When he's on the field, if he can stay healthy. Other than that, they lost Robbie Anderson, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah,
definitely I wouldn't call it a rebuild, but it's a kind of like a bridging year, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know exactly what to call it, but
Yeah, their defense, I believe, still had a decent year.
yeah,
Started out really, really well, um, but yeah, I mean, the Panthers, like, unlike the Colts, they're in a position to actually like draft their next quarterback in the next
Yeah.
couple of years. I don't really know what the plan has been with just trying to plug in someone else's someone else's just
Yeah.
used quarterback that
Yeah.
they didn't want, like Darnold, and then brought back Cam, which was cool because it was Carolina, but he's got nothing left, unfortunately. But yeah,
What position do they draft this year again? Do you know?
not sure. Let's
Let me check.
should be relatively
Yeah, they're
high.
sixth. So definitely got a shot at a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you want a quarterback this year or want to look to next year.
Mhm.
Of course, usually when at least in the last couple of years when we've had a draft that people aren't very high on quarterbacks, it ends up faring better than the ones where
Yeah.
they're like, this is a great QB class.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, they had Bridgewater the year before, then Darnold. Yeah, I don't know what the plan is. You should, yeah, they actually are in position to get a quarterback, unlike the Colts that we talked about, a similar kind of thing. So yeah, whenever they see a guy who they think that they might want to be their franchise QB, they got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, definitely. Because C-Mac's not super young anymore. Just signed DJ Moore to a big deal, so they got to try and find a quarterback to just make it happen. Yeah. Okay. So moving on, Falcons. Obviously lost Matt Ryan this season, and I think they signed Marcus Mariota. But quarterback is honestly the least of their worries. They have like one of the worst pass rushes in the league. Calvin Ridley's not there. Pretty much Kyle Pitts is their only, solid receiver right now. So they got a lot of holes as well. And I don't think it's just going to be solved in one off season or anything. I think they got to kind of go into rebuild mode and start from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitively in a rebuild now, having traded their long time franchise quarterback. Yeah, it's been a theme with the Falcons over the last couple of years and just having a very porous defense. It's probably squandered away some of Matt Ryan's prime years with that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do in a lot of different areas.
No one spot you can really point to, but I think they're drafting 8th, so relatively high pick. So hopefully they can make that work out for them. Moving on, Saints. Saints are kind of intriguing. So Jameis last year, I forget how long he played for, but he got injured pretty quickly toward his ACL, I'm pretty sure. So, didn't get to see what he could do with that offense. But now with him returning on a 2-year deal, and then Michael Thomas, fingers crossed, is healthy this year and able to play. And then Kamara, again, hopefully he gets through that legal situation fine. But the offense isn't, at least on paper, doesn't seem horrible this year. So they might be able to put up some points.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis last year, actually, I thought looked pretty good in his limited action at QB. Really derailed the Saints season. Definitely Sean Payton retiring now. That's probably gonna make their offense look at least scheme wise, look a whole lot different. But
Yeah.
um,
I actually think one of the, I forget who exactly it was, but it's someone in the Saints organizations that that's going to be their head coach now. So hopefully, I think he's been working under Sean Payton for a while. So hopefully that scheme doesn't change too much and it doesn't like, hurt their offense too much. But
yeah,
it's just,
it'll be interesting to see regardless in the post Sean Payton era. Last year definitely looked like they were trying to just limit how many times Jameis could hurt them with some of the decision making. They seem, yeah, I mean they seem to be okay with rolling with him, moving forward.
yeah.
Their defense has been great, really, ever since they became playoff contenders again at the back end of Breeze's career, and they still are quite, they're quite formidable on that end.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they're still probably, I don't know. They'll be middling, I feel like, this
Yeah,
season.
I don't think they have a shot at the playoffs this year. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, at least they have something to work with,
yeah. Hopefully Jameis can stay healthy this year. We only got teased with the early results of LASIK Jameis.
Hopefully that paid off.